I need to get some notes up on chat.
Get ready for the
And like that, we're back with another Unpack presented to you by the To Be Fair show and
the GSH podcast.
It doesn't matter how you feel.
all right, we are back with another one. Again, today we're talking about the truth behind AI. Is it all marketing hype? Or is it humanity's biggest threat? Is it possibly capitalism's biggest threat? Are we witnessing the next dot-com boom? We're starting to get some global economic specialists come out, and they're talking through it right now. They're saying that this peak is looking very reminiscent of a couple other bubbles that we've seen, as recent as the dot-com boom, but there's the bubble right before the Great Depression. There's a couple more. Yeah, we'll get into that. But before we do that, y'all see the guys, y'all know the guys. It's the Four Horsemen here. G, talk to them.
Yo, what's good, everybody? It's G, host of the GSH podcast, where we focus on family, friends, finances, freedom, and our future. Forget about everything else. Check it out wherever you get your pod. Search GSH POD.
All right. Listen, I will say, G, it's a nigga in Charlotte biting you right now. Johnny, talk to
Heavy.
him.
Oh, man.
You say family, friends, faith, and finances or some shit like that. We say, oh damn.
Wow.
That shit sound
I was
real
like,
similar.
I was like, I know that.
Hey, man, y'all know where y'all heard it first, man.
I know that one.
Y'all know where y'all heard it
I
first.
started counting them down. I started counting my boy down.
You got YouTube timestamps. You good, man.
You know it.
Yeah, but I don't know if people still appreciate, but you know what I mean. That's up to your faith. Hey Black, talk to him. We talking about
What's up,
the mayor
everybody,
of Charlotte
man?
pro temp.
Yes. Back out here Wednesday night. Good to see everybody. It's August, man. Time is flying. So let's get it.
Some might say Black August, a Black August. Johnny, talk to us, brother.
Hey man, glad to be back. Got another good one lined up. Y'all know what we do, man. Let's lock in, man. Ready for a good one.
Gotcha. All right, so with that said, just getting a real quick feel to where the panel is at. What is your current sentiments and feelings toward AI? We've been pitched the AI in the next 2 to 3 years will almost push us into a socialistic American economy where there's a need for a UBI, there's a possibility to work, but not a need to work. We've also been pitched that this is, or now we're starting to become pitched that maybe it's not everything that it's cracked up to be. News is starting to come out that pretty much all the AI companies are circling around about $1 trillion, couple $1 trillion of money, and a bunch of IOUs. The tokens haven't become profitable, and there's a lot of talk in the AI streets of it might be too expensive for it to be something that is tangible economically for companies to actually use. Right now, what is y'all sentiments? Just starting off as we get rolling.
I mean, I think it's just like everything else. It's a tool. Uh, so I think it's just like, there was the gun, there was the industrial revolution, there was the internet. I think it's just another tool. I definitely think, there needs to be some regulation, especially when it comes to affordability and accessibility of it. And I think just like with anything else, it can be in the right hands. I think it could be really useful. In the wrong hands, I think it could be really detrimental. Uh, but it's a complicated subject. So I'm looking to dive deep into it for sure.
So, are you a believer of the future of AI, or do you think that it's oversold hype?
Well, I definitely think there's a future with AI. I don't necessarily know how it would look, but I definitely think it's something that's here. We're not like going backwards with it.
Okay, so you would say that the future that I guess we could say Sam Altman, Bill Gates, Elon Musk is speaking to is more of a plausible reality than a dot-com bubble bust. G, talk to us.
Yeah, I think the AI thing is I think a little more like it's lack of better words, in too deep. Pause. It's just it's too much,
You think
and
so?
you can't turn back at this point. Too much money's been spent, too much money's been invested, and too many layers. Like, AI is more than just a LLM. There's a lot of components that go into this industry that are making billions of dollars, whether it be the chips, the data centers, the models, or the agentic layers. Like, is multiple stakeholders that have ties to this. And yeah, when you consider like how these companies have grown and at the speed in which they've grown over the last, say, 2 to 3 years, yeah, it's really
But
no
are,
turning back, man. It's
but I
it's
guess when
what
we
it
say
is.
grown, most of them are not profitable yet, though, right? Correct.
That's a conversation, but the stock price is different. That's kind of why the argument that there's a bubble here, and it's
Google
like, how much
wasn't
longer will
profitable
this
for a long
continue?
time.
Because while these companies haven't been profitable, their
Hmm.
revenues have been growing exponentially. And the thing about stock price, it's all about expectations in the market. It's not necessarily always about like one for one, because you got the meme stocks that just shoot up and down. It's like, how does this happen?
Right, right.
Markets. So even though their financials show clear losses, a lot of them haven't gone public yet. That's one. They've stayed private. So that's one thing. But say like the Nvidias of the world, like the chip
Well,
makers,
I must say, I think the big seven is all public, correct?
but say Anthropic is not a part of that group. OpenAI not a part of that group. They're
Okay.
not publicly traded companies yet.
Oh, they're not. Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, but you talk about big seven like Amazon, Google, they're profitable, but what's taking place here recently is they've had a huge increase in operational spending because they're investing tons and tons of money to support their AI infrastructure. So and their stock prices took a hit recently because of that. So when you consider, and same thing with Oracle, right? Oracle went crazy last year after they did the deal with OpenAI, but since that's peaked, I think it's almost been cut in half, and that's why they closed up the Paramount deal because the I forget his name off the top, but the owner of Oracle, who was financing that deal, lost like half his value because Oracle stock like was cut in half from the peak of when they went under contract for that. So again, it's a lot of money tied in this thing through and through. A lot of companies that got their hooks into this, and the government bailout is inevitable. So it's just too big now. Pause. There's no turning back. There's no turning back.
Okay. A Black, is would you say that excuse me, AI is overhyped or sold as what it's executing?
Yeah, nah. I mean, I think G hit it on the head. We here now. We in it. This is the future. We talking about what it's gonna look like. We kind of are seeing what it's looking like, and it's being integrated into everything to the point of normalization, to the point of like at first you see this little AI bug on the corner and people don't know what to do with it, but slowly but surely they're training humans too on how to use AI so they can train AI with it. And it might start with as simple as uh, a photo and making yourself look like a tiger or making yourself look pregnant or whatever. But they are trying to condition prompting and conditioning giving commands. So the AI is not going nowhere as far as the companies and the money hemorrhaging because it's like it's a new industry, so they still kind of don't really know how to finesse it. And I think what's going to happen is a lot of smaller companies will kind of get gobbled up, and we already kind of seeing that where you able to use the AI to create your own AI shit, and it's getting bought up by the bigger companies. So they're finding ways to kind of consolidate it. And right now, that's the cold war of like buying up the technology, getting the licensing, creating these
Flock
platforms where you
flock
can have
cameras and shit.
everything on it and stuff. Uh, but like you say, AI is so much deeper than I think a lot of us even know yet. And so my thing is like I don't know what the future holds, good or bad. I just know it's here and done. I feel like I'm able to start to see the benefit even in my workflow of I'm able to take on a lot more work because I'm able to process it faster with the AI, and I'm getting better with the AI and telling them how to do shit. So and it's advancing like super fast. Shit it used to mess up on 3 months ago, like it's doing perfectly now. Like the images, the wording, the graphics, everything
I
is.
ain't gonna lie, my AI still be fucking up the same.
But it was better than last
Well,
year. Last
ChatGPT
year you
work
couldn't
it
even get
work is a
spelling
little
right.
better.
You couldn't get spelling right on graphics. Like
Right.
Hmm
It's
so,
definitely gotten better.
everything is picking up. So I think people need to be learning. I'm going back to school for it. It was part of my master's business analytics is AI concentration and machine learning and shit like that. But this is the future, man. It's like the internet was at one point, and social media, and the printing press, and factories. Like this is our version of it. So
We
I
see it
mean,
every place.
And
Like
and so I guess hey Black, you threw us to the internet. Everything that we're saying right now, does this echo the language of the dot-com boom and bust?
it's very similar sentiments with something new being introduced. I
Hmm
remember like when the internet was relatively new to us as general consumer. Military and people had it way before us. But I remember when it came out, and I remember when meeting people on the internet was a crazy thing to do. I mean, it still is in some ways, but a lot of things have been normalized, and then social media came out. And some people were scared to talk, and you only had a few people that talk, and everybody just retweeted them. And then little by little, everybody came open to talk, and so it's just gradual programming that shifts culture and kind of shifts how you like live your life and shit. But in AI is now you about to have kids born into an AI world. It's like they was born into phones, so it's here. You better get to learning because it ain't going nowhere.
yeah, I mean, I think like it is similar, but like I think Steve just hit it on the head. Pause, but uh, the there was a bust, and there was a lot of companies that didn't make it. But at the end of the day, the people that run the world are the companies that were a part of that. The Googles, the Microsofts, and a lot of those companies who came, through that .com bust, ended up controlling a lot of the shit that I mean, even when it into AI, like Google's a big player in that now. and like they survived that. So
Yeah,
like,
but there would you also say that there was like an attached economic collapse that was closely paired with that as well. And typically when it comes down to new technology being introduced, there tends to be like the boom and then bust. And of course, there's going to be some players that continue to ride the wave per se.
I,
But
I mean, to answer
generally
the
speaking,
first part of the
okay.
question, I mean, and I wasn't grown, and so like I might have remembered shit differently, but like the .com boom or bubble, like it happened in the early 2000s. But in my lifetime, the biggest economic bust or things that I seen like my parents go through and stuff, it was the
Mhm.
real estate bubble in '08. And like that
Oh,
was the recession that I really saw like, oh, and maybe I was too young for the but so I don't necessarily remember, but like I think it was like, the .com bubble, because like I don't know how many people were a player in that. I think it was a lot of companies that ended up losing value, but I don't think it affected the everyday person. Where AI is kind of the same thing as far as like investment. Like we're not really invested in it. So
But
and
but that's where it's not necessarily like I don't think because the issue is, again, AI is multi-layered, and there are a lot of companies like that are in the big seven, like you mentioned, Google, Amazon,
that's the other one. Yeah.
Nvidia. There are companies, and when you look at the S&P 500 and what's been carrying it here recently, it has been essentially the influence of AI. And so what we see here today is that a lot of people's retirement packages carry these stocks. And if these stocks struggle, similar to in the financial crisis in like 2009, when everything sort of
But that wasn't on the.
tanked.
But that wasn't the .com bubble. Like how bad? Like the .com
that
I'm not
bubble.
necessarily saying
well,
it was the
but
.com
but
bubble.
right,
What I'm
you
saying
can
is
you can
the
see it says
markets
that
crashed as a result
U.S.
of the
entered
incident.
it entered a recession.
But the issue here with the stocks, but you can see too above there, the Nasdaq fell 78% from its peak. That's a lot of value. Like when these
Mhm.
when these when these bubbles burst from their height, as I just said, Oracle went crazy after the deal they had with OpenAI. Speculation went through the roof. Oracle went through the roof. Emerson, I can't remember the name exactly, but he was the richest dude for a second, and now all of a sudden half that's gone, and now he can't buy. Now Paramount can't buy Warner Brothers, and the deal is halted. Like, so it's a crazy time. We even seen it on the situation where they had a hedge fund where this guy had leveraged a bunch of AI stocks. Things dipped like 20%. The bank called it in. He had to repay everything, and so it's like there is a lot of money into this, and a lot of people's retirements are tied to what some of these big dog companies are doing. And what you start to notice is that a lot of that money is just kind of being passed back and forth. Like, we're
Well,
gonna
that's
work with
that's what's
you.
happening.
We're gonna work with you. We're gonna work with you. We're gonna work with you. We're gonna
I'm
work
gonna
with
give
you.
you an IOU, and then
And,
I'll
and, and
you
somebody gonna
give
have to
me
pay
a
at
couple.
some point. Yeah.
Well, but all right, so then that moves us to the next statement in which we can speak about it before we watch some of the memes. I know we got some memes in here that speak to this. Um,
Look at what SpaceX done
as
recently as well.
as AI has been presented, can it become profitable? This has now become like the biggest issue that exists when it comes down to AI, the AI industry, and these companies. Can it become profitable?
I can present both sides. So I'll let, if somebody got I can take, yeah.
Well, you know you getting
This nigga say
money
he go both ways.
through
Oh.
subscriptions.
He
You know you
presents
getting
both
you know
sides.
you getting some
That's crazy.
liquid.
That's crazy talk. Actually,
I can present both sides. I understand.
pause.
He's
I
an ally.
understand.
Pause.
Yeah,
Multiple pronouns. I got
Y'all,
you.
y'all, 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 y'all twisted my words to make it pause worthy. I formatted it perfectly pause. And but no need to cut A Black off. You got it.
I forgot what I was saying. What was the question?
Um, profitable. AI being profitable.
Yeah, I was saying, you got the subscriptions. You got liquid money through just subscription services through a lot of
All
AI
right, let's talk
apps.
about it.
Do generations, like a lot of this shit is not cheap. Seeing some of these little cute AI videos and stuff, them joints be adding up. So that's we know they getting that liquid money, and hopefully they're cycling in real money. Of course, they inflated the worth to get sold and get what they needed, but I think they're getting real money too, for sure. I don't know. I know I'm trying to get money with shit.
Yeah,
Cause
I mean,
somebody get money now. Whether it's real or not, when it busts, my shit will be liquidated by then. But niggas, this is the time to get money before data bust. Oh yo, pause. That's all I got, man. Shit.
Okay.
uh,
I'll play this.
can I answer it real quick? Because like
Go ahead, Johnny.
I don't know if it is a way for them to become profitable, but I feel like going back to the .com bubble, I think like a lot of these companies they ran on that, and I feel like the longer they can kick it down the road, I feel like the bigger chance they're gonna have to be profitable. The more and more we become addicted to it and hooked on it, the bigger chance they're gonna have to, whether it's ad revenue or subscription service, like the more and more people get used to it, the more and more that like the higher
I
chance
think
they
it's
have.
the cost of the usage of it, which
Oh,
is going to come down to this meme that I'm about to play. Uh,
but that should come down, hopefully. I can't hear it. Can you hear me? I can't hear it.
my bad,
I
y'all can't
can't
hear?
hear it. I can't hear it
Okay,
either.
okay. All right, I'm gonna hit the reset on it. This should work here. Johnny, tell us more about how you feel about AI.
Oh, well, I think like there is a ramp or a path to profitability because like, but it's not a guarantee for sure. It's a gamble. But like, I think there's a lot of smart people who invested a lot of money, so I think there's definitely an on ramp for them to be able to. I think it comes down to the cost of, and it's a big deal, but the data centers and like however they can make them more efficient, cost less money. That's going to be very key.
Can y'all hear that?
That's all I got. That's my things.
Y'all couldn't hear this either?
Nah, I ain't hear that.
Nah.
I ain't hear that.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah,
ain't hear
G, talk to us as I figure this out.
So the thing about AI, I would say like you got to look at a couple of factors here when you project long term. And when you look at technology as a whole, right? Think about how expensive the first computers were. And the first, like the mainframe computers were literally, if I'm not mistaken,
big as a house too.
say what?
They was big. Like they be in. They
Yeah,
take up whole
exactly,
room.
exactly. It took up a lot of space. Like 500,000 back in the 40s and 60s would be close to 7 million today. But 500,000 to build a computer just a few decades ago, when a lot of our parents was being born, so to speak.
And it
And
was slow as
so,
hell.
and when you look at what it costs to do what that same computer does today, I mean, our phones blow it out the water for a small fraction of the price. So when you look at some of the cost of AI, like as it relates to like tokenization and cloud compute, even when we were in school, you know how much money we had to pay for them little ass thumb drives that had like 16 gigabytes of storage just to save our Word documents and Excel spreadsheets and stuff like
Oh
that
yeah, like on the floppy disk.
on a floppy
I heard
disk or
it's
or
a tiny amount of information.
Sign it,
Oh,
it's very, very. So you had to pay a lot of money for storage versus today. to get like crazy amounts of storage, you get it at a small fraction of the price.
You pay a contractor to remodel your house.
All right, we can hear him now, but let me finish.
Okay, cool.
The tokens that it costs to get things done with AI will inevitably get more efficient. It won't take as many tokens to do the same task as efficiently, if not better. And I think as time progresses too, same thing goes with the cloud compute. It's not going to require as much, and things are just going to get more leaner and efficient. That said, you also pair that with the idea of huge productivity gains through all this AI getting spread everywhere, where it's like, okay, and this is where it's like, I don't know if this is really true, but like, does it actually make life easier because there's an abundance of supplies and things that make people's lives easier? That sounds like a great story, but I just don't know if that's the reality of how things are going to play out. But I do think there's room for it to be profitable long term, but it's a very long term profitable play, and that's why they're going to get bailed out in the short term by the government.
Gotcha. All right, so with that said, what we'll do is finally play this meme for y'all here. And
if the promise of AI is as good as they are marketing it to be in its current form, they would not be charging us for tokens. Instead, they'd be charging us for building a $1 billion business idea where they would take 30% of the revenue. Because think about how you pay for anything in business. You pay a lawyer to win a court case. You pay a contractor to remodel your house. The price you pay is attached to a specific result. Now, AI companies do not work that way. They charge us per what's called token usage. Now, a token is basically a word. Every word the AI reads and every word it writes for you, we pay for that. Whether the answer was good or was really bad. And Alex Karp is basically saying, why would they price their business that way? Why wouldn't OpenAI, ChatGPT, just say, only pay me when it works? If we create a good idea for you, give us a cut of your income.
But I'm telling you, in this country, at every single enterprise I deal with, these people are livid. They're like, I am paying for tokens that create no value. These people are stealing the weights and alpha of my business, and they're creating a wealth tax that does not help the poor. It just punishes, starts with the billionaires. Every single person at this table is going to be paying a wealth tax only to punish us.
If they were confident that this thing created this value, that would be the easiest sales pitch in history. Pay us nothing unless we make you money and unless we build you a $1 billion idea. But they can't offer that because these models do what's called hallucinate, right? This is where they confidently make things up, and nobody.
And we'll get back to that part, but I think that this does speak to a bit of the conversation around some of the companies that have invested heavily inside AI recently and have now started to lose a lot of money, had to roll back and cut back. And within what they thought was not a quarter, but a year's worth of tokens, i.e. Uber, they've used it all inside a quarter. But we'll continue and kind of go into this spot.
It's a scam.
But the biggest thing by far is that the con is the financial side. The con is the fact that most people's experience of AI is unrealistic when it comes to the cost. So you using ChatGPT, I believe the subscriptions will go away. I think we are just at the dawn of token-based billing, meaning that most people's use of Claude Code, for example, is based on a relatively unlimited, you can burn between $8 and $13.50 for every dollar of your subscription in tokens. So most people's experience of AI is separate from the cost, divorced from the cost. And this was a deliberate con on the part of Sam Altman and Dario Amodei, because they both knew that if they actually made people pay on a per million token basis to use these things, they go, wait, how much? Whoa, this thing messed up and I still had to pay. And you're kind of seeing that already with the enterprise customers, the Ubers and Walmarts of the world who are starting to have to pull back.
This is the token maxing, soul searching we're seeing going on right now.
The thing is, Uber wasn't token maxing. I don't think they had a leaderboard. I think they might have at some point, but they burned through their entire annual token budget in 4 months in the space of the first quarter. And then their COO, Andrew McDonald, said it's getting hard to justify because you can't connect it to outcomes. We are years in. Why are we all acting like this is going well? It isn't.
So let's try to break that whole thing down. So what a lot of people don't understand is that if you're going to use ChatGPT and you're paying the subscription that you see, you would assume that if I pay this, it means that me using the service is making OpenAI money. That is very, very far from the case. They are burning through a ton of money to be able to give these subscriptions at the price that they are. The whole point is to get people hooked and reliant on using the service, and then later crank up the price. Something Uber is all too familiar with. I'm sure you remember back in the day when Ubers used to be a few bucks, and it was amazing. It was mind-blowing that you could pay that little to get a cab. That was all done on purpose, and that was subsidized. Other people were losing money to get you hooked on the service, to price out competition, and to make you reliant on continuing to pay them. Uber connects to this story too. As Ed mentioned, this is the COO of Uber, and he had said that they've already burned through their tokens, which is basically how much AI are using, in the first 4 months, their whole budget. And they couldn't link the value that they had spent to real improvement in their business. And that's the point that Ed is making, is that all of this is incredibly unsustainable. It's hard to justify to the public how this advancement is really going to improve their life. And the fear marketing has gone off the charts. Every single day you're hearing about how your job is taken, you're going to enter the permanent underclass. And most of the people pushing that message are financially incentivized to do so, which is what Ed is exposing.
All right.
So
What do y'all say to that?
I mean,
Man, you gotta dodge the fear, man, and get your money while it's getting good. Cause
Hmm.
it all gold rushes are short, and it's gonna bust, pause in some type of way. But I feel like I wouldn't be worried about companies and how they getting money and if this is sustainable. I'm also don't feel like I'm doing nothing that I'm solely dependent on. Like it's faster, but I can do it myself if I needed to. So like they crank up prices, like he says, to unrealistic, you know, then it'll make sense. Right now, I think it's pretty cheap, like for the output that I get. So I could do with a few price raises before I raise my eyebrows. I'd be like, I'm good. But I think with competition, they're gonna have to keep it at a certain level anyway because people are creating the same things. And your shit is better this month. My shit will be better in 3 months, and it's kind of going up and down. So I don't see the price and subscriptions going crazy.
Well, I think he was saying that he thinks subscriptions are going to be taken away in general.
Well, he
Like
also
the
was saying
subscription
that
model
they
doesn't.
trying to get people hooked so they can raise the price of subscriptions. So I don't. Why would they take it away?
They would change the business model to charging for token usage versus paying a flat subscription rate, is what the guy was arguing. I'm not saying
Yeah.
I agree with what the guy is saying, but that's what the guy is arguing.
Hmm. I mean,
I
but
mean,
they already do that.
I think it's gonna be a couple like, cause like even with the if you look at like the development of like the internet and a company like Google or Amazon, there were changes in philosophy along the way, but it like I think there will be like might not be a bunch of them, but there will be a couple of companies that sustain long enough to be able to create AI that is useful for people. And I think that because right now flyers and stuff like I can understand why a lot of people say it's not necessarily as productivity, but I think there are ways. Well, at least that's I don't necessarily know, but I think there are things that could do it way more productive for people where the
Do,
value
do
is up.
do y'all remember like when the internet like first start becoming real accessible and you ain't know what to really do with it, so you used to be like maybe looking up
Right.
song lyrics or maybe some commercial had a website and you just look like you didn't really know what to do with the internet yet. It was just there. You might go to an AOL chat room, but like slowly, people
What
kind of
niggas be
start
doing with the
figuring
internet
out.
now?
Shit, I mean, what we doing? You got
It's just,
networks, you
niggas
got
pay.
platforms, you got stores, you got
Yeah, niggas be shopping on
industries.
the internet now. Niggas
Niggas
don't
be
go to the
scrolling on the
mall.
internet. That's their biggest thing, scrolling on that bitch.
Yeah, they but
But
they
but
be
now the
on there.
scroll, they'll sell you shit on the scroll.
But that's because it's a whole world
It ain't pro.
now.
It ain't
It's a whole world now of
productive.
things to
Yeah.
do. It's a
It's
whole world
profitable.
now of things to do versus when it first came out.
It's
Niggas
profitable.
didn't know what to do with it. It was just fear of like, oh, this is gonna end the world, and maybe it did in some ways. Who knows? But people evolve, the populace evolves with the tool, and eventually starts figuring out how to use it. Cause I still feel like, I mean, creatively and artistically, we using it, but I still feel like we don't really know what to do with it. Do with it yet.
It's full of
We just,
potential.
yeah.
Yeah, I think to that point, like this is an example where capitalism is a good thing, because what we see is that this idea of, so the guy's hypothesis or whatever he said about like getting them hooked and switch to tokens, it sounds, I hear what he's saying in theory, but I don't agree. And what we see in real time is these companies are struggling because there's a lot of open source models that are free that you don't have to pay anything. And they, when you compare the price and the quality of what you can get, it's not that bad. Like a lot of people are going to default to the free service before they default to the paid service. It's just what it is. And
it's not gonna always be free.
They're open. The Chinese, China is flooding the U.S. with cheap open source models, and it's hurting Anthropic.
But where's the computing power coming from?
China.
But it can't stay free. They start using
It's different. It's different.
The bigger it gets, they're gonna have to charge.
Not necessarily. And this is what I'm saying. Like, what? See, that's the thing, right? So, why is it so expensive in the first place? It's because of the business model. And depending on how you operate functionally, China's like, we'll build data centers, we'll do whatever. Like, China is in a they're set up differently to handle what they're doing strategically as a play to put them in power, to further their own mission. So this is an investment for them. This is not something where, again, like, because like for example,
but investment got a return. Like,
yeah, and it will. So for example, a lot of the revenue that these companies are going to generate really are not from us. It's from enterprises. It's when you start selling B2B enterprise technology, you start selling things that are millions of dollars potentially, like when you have B2B customer clientele. So that's what their goal is. The Uber example was the first of what has now become many examples of companies who started the year with AI budget, AI initiatives, but they got burnt out of those budgets because of tokenization usage. And they said, nope, you know what? This is too expensive. We're burning all these tokens and we don't have any productivity or results to tie it to. So instead of paying for all these tokens, what you could do is just get your own, you could get like a free model, because all you need is the model, and you can build your own quote unquote internal data center, build your own, invest in your own infrastructure, have your own data, not be sending it to Anthropic so that their models get better, not be sending it to OpenAI so their models get better. You can invest in some storage, in some machines as a company, and have those models run on your own internal systems and get.
So how much does that cost? What is the capital investment to that?
I don't know the exact amount, but you got to look at the risk. You keep all your data in-house. You're not feeding their models.
But their models is what makes it like the information that their models have is what makes them valuable.
But if you're running a business, though, depending on your use case, you may just want to train your own model based off of your own business data specifically, so that you have something fine-tuned to your business, your deals, your customer history. You're like, you can use a quote unquote open model system that's pulling like publicly, but if you're running a business, wouldn't you want to fine-tune that model to be specific to your business?
Well, I think that like isn't the value of Anthropic, and I think like Anthropic has a bunch of different versions of it. Like there's the military version, and then there's like the business version that they give. And the business version that it gives is that it compiles data from all these other different businesses and gives you like these amazing recommendations and stats and drivers to be able to push your business. But it's based off of their access to like this immense amount of customer data plus other business data. Correct?
No, I think I think what you're saying is not in response to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is,
okay.
What I'm saying is, as a business, if you
Mhm.
want to pay OpenAI for their compute or Anthropic for their compute
Mhm.
and run on their system, part of that comes a risk as a business. You're feeding them your proprietary data. So
Right.
now you're inputting the secret recipe to the Big Mac sauce into the Anthropic database for potentially somebody else to go run a prompt and get your recipe, because now it's public. Now it's just a part of their system. You lose
Yeah, I imagine
control
it's
of your.
probably in. I imagine there's some versions of NDAs that exist with
No,
that
I'm telling.
this is
how
but I
it
mean like
works.
that but we don't have, it's not publicly accessible like the business versions of like the business and yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Anthropic. Their AI, because they have two separate AI models. They name them differently. I forgot the names of them. But
But how those models are trained is based off of how people use the product. And when you
but
give
it's also
Anthropic
customer
your.
data inside in general. I guess the point that I'm making is that if you're only training your model off your existing customers, I don't know how much value that is. And then the next question becomes, um, is that value at like does that value equal or surpass the value that it will take to build said data center to make that sustainable?
If you're running a business, which you run,
Mhm.
and you're at some point, a big part of running a business is like this idea of forecasting, right?
Right.
Why would you want to forecast off of data that's not like yours when you've got the model that can do the same work just for your data specifically?
Right, because I want to scale. And then if me scaling wouldn't necessarily only be my literal, customer demo at the moment. Like I'll be looking to scale and get information, especially on the marketing side, that I can draw from other successful gyms that have very similar business models, and or look at other business models that right now are being successful and seeing how I can integrate that into my business.
But what about your own business currently? How do you analyze what's working and not working in the past so that you do more of what works and less of what doesn't, based off of your own, just like your own business?
Yeah, I guess I don't think you need a data center for that.
I didn't say you need a data center, but you need your own just machines. Like it doesn't cost a data center. That's my point. You can just buy a few computers, stand them up. Cause if you wanted to run Claude code at your crib, you would just need a couple Mac Studios, and the agents
Right,
would
right,
run
right.
all night. So if you talk about a bigger business, all you need is a couple. You don't need a data center. You just need some compute that you can invest in, and it's not like the heaviest lift. Like companies have internal networks and stuff all the time, and this is
So
where
why
like
haven't businesses went down this road yet?
they are starting to, is what I'm saying. That this is literally starting
What
to
are
happen in real time.
so what are some of the ones that are not adjacent to like these big data companies, not data companies, these big tech companies that are subsidizing these other smaller companies to build their own data centers? Because I know that they are doing that, and that's part of the big circle. But are there ones that's outside of that grouping that you're talking about?
Like everyday, like enterprises. I'm not sure if I understand the question. Like,
I guess again, so there are businesses that are building data centers. Yes. A lot of them, the ones that are, I'll just say the ones that I have heard of are attached to and are subsidized inside some way or a part of the big circle chain that is like the AI tech bubble, in which there's a bunch of IOUs, equity, and money being passed around in a circle to where there is promises, whether it's inside chips, it's in tokens or capital from these other companies. So they're incentivized to build these data centers. Are there any of them that are outside of that bubble is what I'm asking.
Now, because are you comparing the data centers to what I was saying about building your own compute? Or I'm a little.
All right, well, my bad. So at first you started with data center. So I like you might have like changed the wording now. So are we no longer talking about building your own data centers as a company or enterprise?
I don't think I ever said they build their own data centers. I said they can house their own data internally. That's not necessarily building a data center. Like a data center is like a huge, like companies can have internal networks that they buy machines, everything runs internally. It doesn't go up to the cloud, for example. It's all local. It's all on a local network. It doesn't go in like to the internet.
I understand that for sure.
And that's what I'm saying. That's all you need to run your own to run your own agents internally on an open source model and get similar results for a fraction of the price. That's all you need. Just you have to invest in an internal network.
Okay. I guess my only rebuttal would just be that I think that in general, businesses already were doing that, especially in the tech realm. What would now be, because I think that's almost like a piece of machine learning and algorithmic based shit that has already existed. But what would be why are these companies now turning to these open source models that are feeding data from all these bigger sources if there's no value to it and you could just do it yourself?
I didn't say no value, but there's risk. And as a business, you're going to weigh the value versus the risk. How much am I spending? What am I getting in return? What am I putting at risk as well? And when you weigh the fact that you don't, so when you get these AI packages as an enterprise, you don't necessarily have control over what Jim Schmo fuck employees going to put into the model. Like if they're going to take shortcuts and just start pasting shit into the model to figure shit out, you don't necessarily have that type of control. And what I'm saying is that what you see as a risk for using these models is you don't want to give Anthropic your secret recipe or anything related to your IP, because now that information is no longer just yours. Anthropic or the system you're using will have some ownership of it, and they'll be able to do what they please, and you'll have no say about it. So this idea that you can sign an NDA with them is not true, because you sign a waiver, like you acknowledge by using our model, we're using your data to train our shit. That's the NDA. And so as a business, you're not necessarily going to want to take that risk.
Right. All right. So I guess that's what you mean by secret sauce. So I was going to say that also doesn't mean that you are giving away like all your business information and secrets per se. But I don't know. Like, yeah, I kind of understand what you said. It's smooth. Yeah, Johnny, A Black, talk to us.
Oh no, y'all got it. I can't hear.
We can't hear you, A Black.
My bad, Sam. What was your next question?
Oh, I can find the next question real quick. Or better yet, I had two videos I had pulled up.
OpenAI, SoftBank, and Oracle partnered to build the $500 billion Stargate data center. NVIDIA invested $30 billion in OpenAI, SoftBank invested $30 billion in OpenAI, and Amazon $50 billion in OpenAI. OpenAI will need to buy $500 to $600 billion worth of chips from NVIDIA. Oracle bought $40 billion of chips from NVIDIA. OpenAI signed a $300 billion deal with Oracle. Then OpenAI signed a $90 billion deal with AMD for rights to 10% of AMD. CoreWeave, partially owned by NVIDIA, rents out cloud capacity to Meta, Microsoft, OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google. Microsoft owns 27% of OpenAI, is a fifth of NVIDIA sales, and rents $30 billion worth of cloud capacity to Anthropic. Google invested $3 billion and an additional $40 billion as of late April 2026 in Anthropic. Anthropic is using 1 million Google chips. Amazon invested $8 billion into Anthropic and built Anthropic its own $11 billion data center. And even now, these deals continue to cycle around the industry. Everyone is everyone else's investor, supplier, customer, and competitor, all at the same time. It's like a group of friends passing the same $50 bill around the table and each calling it their. Okay, so here's the full mess.
Say, I think artificial intelligence is right up there with the railroads. It's one of the defining great ideas of the last couple of hundred years. It's going to change everything. And that is critical. If you mean to have a bubble, people think that a bubble is mainly because it's a scam, and nothing could be further from the truth. The great bubbles always occur around the very most important ideas. So the railroads, everyone could see that it would change the world. And everyone wanted to put their money in, and everybody put their money in. They overinvested. And even though the railroads were a spectacularly powerful idea, the railroads collapsed as stocks and everybody lost a ton of dough. The same with the internet. And then out of the wreckage, the railroads changed the world and the internet changed the world. What we have to remember is that in 99, Amazon went up 6 or 7 times. In the crash, in the tech bubble, it went down 92%. As I like to say, check it. It's such a remarkably large number. And then out of the wreckage, it inherited the retail world. And that's how it works. The greater the idea, the more obvious the idea, the more money goes in, and the bigger the bubble, and the bigger the bust.
And are we on the verge of a collapse with AI? When I say verge, I mean over the coming years.
If you look at the data, it would be compatible with history for the peak to be very soon. Everything is in line. This is, I think, the biggest investment bubble in American history. The indicators of a pure, crazy euphoria, like SpaceX, are all over the place. SpaceX defines as its addressable market a quarter of the global, say, I think.
All right. What
I
is your
got,
reaction?
well, to me, I think like it almost sounds like it being a bust long term wouldn't be a bad idea because, like he said, like with the railroads, with the internet, we also complain about like the top 1% in this country and how much they're hoarding wealth and the wealth gap. And if there is a bust, technically it would affect them more so like the average person, but then like but a lot of times like with railroads and with the internet, like it became more like democratized after the bust to where like the utility pulled through for the people, like he was saying, like after the railroad bust, like the railroads is what helped America, become what we had. The internet, it's changed the world after the bust. Amazon like came, and so there'll probably be a lot of people that lose retirement funds, a lot of these rich people that used to a certain lifestyle. Hopefully that might change for them, but like what comes after that, because of AI being such a like a utility, such a tool, will probably be something that's better for all people ultimately. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah. Shit, man. I mean, nigga took the words right out of him.
Fuck. It wasn't that crazy with us.
Nah, man. The shit is a new industry, and like I agree with what the old white dude was saying. It's like when you have these new industries, these new phenomena changing culture, it's like it's gonna be a peak of like too much of, and it's gonna bust. But when it settles, then you kind of know how to run this regulated where everybody can eat. We know what's too much now, so what's the threshold for it? And in the process, people are still becoming normalized, programmed to use something that they are going to be dependent on in some ways, and you're gonna eat from it. So yeah, there'll be a bubble bust, but they'll save each other. They'll rotate their money from other industries, whether it's real estate or banking or whatever else they got their hands into, and keep themselves afloat. They're gonna buy up little guys, and the government's gonna get more control of it, and that's what it's gonna be. But it's not going nowhere. Like I said, it's new. So if it busts, like that's kind of inevitable because they have to figure it out. How do we sustain this? Like okay, then this is the peak. We know. Now let's work within that and cut out the fat, and that's what happens with every new industry.
And I think
Gotcha.
that's part of the cost of capitalism too. Like you got to invest in stuff early, but a lot of time you invest in the wrong shit and you take an L, and the person who invested in the right shit end up like being, even you come down to like a lot of the railroads and all of that stuff, it was people that fought against it, that invested in the opposite, that didn't want it, but ultimately they lost that. It was people that were fighting the internet. Ultimately, like you know, the better ideas gonna always win. And so it's like people gonna overinvest, and sure, like the rich people are gonna take L's. That's part of it. Like I don't see why, you know, as average people we're crying about stuff that like is gonna affect the rich person.
But the rich people they wanted the buzz because they just gonna let the shares drop, scoop them all up, wait till it stabilize, and cash back out. You know,
I
because
mean,
it
I ain't
will
gonna
stabilize,
I
and
ain't gonna lie, I was waiting on a little crash too.
but
Yeah, all
I
right,
don't think
go.
it's coming. I
Hey,
don't think the
hey, hey.
crash.
If
I don't
if
think the
you
crash is coming soon. I think the peak is
Let's
coming. I
get
think we're
scoop
coming
up
up
a
on the
little
peak.
something.
Hey Johnny, if you waiting for a crash, go grab some crypto stock.
I mean, I've been there, done that.
Oh, so you still loading the boat?
Been there, done that. No,
You
I'm
still
out.
you still loading
I,
the boat?
I,
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, okay, okay.
not all the way. I still got one foot, but I done got my lifeboat.
Oh, okay, okay.
I got my life jacket.
That motherfucker might have been a bust too. I don't know. G gonna tell us to read some papers. Not G. Steve gonna tell us to read some papers in a second. We got you, Steve. Give us 1 second. Again, as we just kind of build through the conversation, um, I think that what we can agree on collectively would be that we all know that AI is here to stay. Uh, with that said, do y'all think that it has been overmarketed, or do you think that like do have that dystopian Ready Player One slash Matrix future on the way, or what did Bill Gates call it? The meta world that they was given, the NFT world. Are we walking down that again? What's his name? Elon Musk said that in 20 years, if not quicker, working will be in essence a hobby. It's something that you do because you want to do it. Do y'all see that as that, or is this something that is just a really good marketing tool by some of the higher ups in these companies that is pushing the idea of the necessity for it, which then pushes people to invest?
I mean, uh, like I think they do have incentive to like overplay it for sure, and like especially like the timeline of how it's gonna get there. For sure, they have incentive to like be like this thing is gonna be like the best thing since sliced bread, whatever they say. You know, they got incentive to sell it, but there are certain products that also are good enough to where they sell themselves. And I see this happening with AI to where they are like even with like the graphics and stuff. I've seen like there are city like officials that are using AI to design. Like I've seen it on a water truck. I've seen Sports Illustrated use the AI on certain covers and internet stuff that they do to where like the application of it is becoming so widespread That
Well, I
like
think
it
that
almost.
like you only highlighted like very niche, not niche, but like specific things. What I'm asking is it being over marketed? Like you've talked to its use case today, which would be like graphic design. And it's been able to kind of really revolutionize that accessibility to a lot of people. I think that that is something that one could say. But what it
But you
is
see how
being
fast
promoted,
it's taking
but
over
what
that.
it
I think
but
it's
what it
what it is.
is being what it is being promoted as is that in the next 3 to 5 years is going to lay off like 60-70% of the workforce. What it's saying is that inside 15 to 20 years, working is going to be a hobby. So not speaking specific, because again, we all know AI is going to stay here. That's kind of like the antecedent to the statement. Um,
I get what you're
is
saying.
it over?
I
Is it
know. I
over
get what you're
marketing?
saying.
Go ahead.
Yes, a little. Of course, like they're putting the sauce on it when they're selling it. Of course, like they are exaggerating, but I don't think they're lying about some of the capability. Maybe like the quickness of it, but I think like the overall, like you telling what it could be is there. Now, like to say in the next 3 to 5 years, that might be an exaggeration. That might necessarily be the truth, but I think there is like some like
And
merit.
so what do you think that the non-marketed version of what AI is going to look like for us in 15 years will be?
Well, I think like when I first heard like stuff like AI agents and like more autonomy to like your day to day life, and I think and that's when me when it was pushed, it was more of like stuff like that that makes sure. And then I don't know about when it comes to productivity, and they say like I don't necessarily know, so I do think it is a little embellishment in it, but
So are
like
you saying that inside like 15 years, you think that most of our life will be ran by AI agents and working will be a hobby?
I'm saying maybe not in 15 years. I think the 15 years is an embellishment, but I think like the utility and what AI is, I think that is a possibility that could happen with AI. Whether it takes 15 years, 30 years, 60 years, I do see that being able to be a thing. Now, when I first heard about it, like there are certain hurdles that I didn't understand, like data centers and stuff like that, and I ain't really understand like a lot of the hurdles. I understand those a little more now, but I think there's still hurdles that could be overcame.
A Black.
Yeah, I don't think it's being over marketed. I feel like the education on it is being under marketed. Like there's a
Hmm.
gap in keeping up with what's going on because it's moving so fast. So people are chasing knowing what to do with it. But I think it's a real thing. I just think it's not being promoted enough what to do with it, beyond the easy trivial stuff like what other ways can I apply this to my life that makes it beneficial without it hopefully killing the rest of the world.
Okay, so you think that there will be uh, so you think that there will be the possibility of like the dystopian future where you got Skynet, and or Ready Player One slash The Matrix with AI.
uh I feel like some regulation is gonna come. I feel like it's real open right now, and a lot of things we're not going to be able to do as easily without it being a major expense. Um, I'm also worried about it being used by the government and the police, helping with more of a police state with data collection and finding stuff out on people, where they at, what they doing, uh, basically what they thinking now, what they have access to these models. So that's my major worry is kind of like policing people, the police state, and access to not just information but nuanced information about a person. You know, but I mean, I guess if you ain't doing no crimes or nothing shady, you good. But
Mhm. And do you think that there could be a possible fearmonger aspect to this when it comes down to what AI what the damn, I kind of lost my train of thought there. Um
Yeah, I mean, people feel what they don't understand, and when you got that side of it's not benefiting me, I'm not getting no money from it. Let me find a way
Mm,
to kind of go against it. The data centers, I mean, they're building more data centers, but data centers are not even new. Like our social media apps, internet, banks,
mhm,
data centers have been around, but
mhm.
it's being popularized as like this is this villainous thing. It's taking up our water supply supposedly, but there's a lot of factors that are
Oh damn, you
affecting.
don't believe it's taking up the water?
My water is fine. I just got 3 cases of fresh spring water today from Trader Joe's. Like I've seen oceans. I flew over
Water
it.
should be free.
It's raining right now. So
You don't want to drink that water. That's acid
you can
rain.
clean it. You can
That's
collect
that shit Chance
rainwater.
was rapping about.
That's what they want you to think. But you can clean rainwater and purify it, especially depending on where your rain coming down at. Like, but
Mm.
yeah, man, it's the AI. I just feel like people, they got to promote more of how to use it. I don't know if it's going to replace as many jobs as people think it is because of that. Because
Mm.
a lot of it still has to be human operated and monitored or reviewed in some ways because it can make mistakes. It can act on its own. There's certain things that a human touch is still going to be necessary for. It might just not be as many humans. Like I can say I probably can do 2, 3 more people's job now, um, because of certain tools. So, but if you know how to utilize it, you just find ways to kind of work in other ways. Because like I said, it's not going to take all jobs, but it is going
And
to
then
take the
if
remedial things, the stuff that people kind of been bullshitting around anyway, getting paid to do nothing anyway.
and
And I
eventually
guess where
it'll
I was
get
going to
better
get
and
into,
better.
I'll go real quick, Johnny.
Oh
So
not oh
I think that where I was okay, there we go. All right, I think that where I was about to go to is do you think that it's fear mongering in a sense that, or in a way that the Industrial Revolution did very similar propaganda, where during that time it was saying that not the robot, well, yeah, the machines are going to take all our jobs. Um, but new industries popped up, and somehow people kept their job or kept working and finding new jobs. And they couldn't predict what the new jobs would be, but people in general still was able to kind of find new jobs. Do you see AI being very similar, where it's going to revolutionize a industry and the way that we operate, but within that, there's going to be immense new jobs, new work. What's your thoughts?
I mean I think like even in like the industrial revolution, the people that were against it were also like a lot of the fear mongering, a lot of that was politicized too, just kind of like it is today. And so like I think ultimately time will tell, but I do think there is a lot of fear mongering based on like your own capitalistic like investments and your own interests. So I think there are people that are like invested in the others, in the other side that are invested in like a lot of the unions and stuff like that. They're invested in like having their people energized and not like having that. So it's a reason for them to talk about the AI if you're like on that side. So I think there is a political reason why it's being fear mongered, but I think like only
But
time will tell.
but political aside, do you think that in general what they're saying is going to be true? That it's going to wipe out um 80 to 90% of the workforce, or because like these are similar claims that were made during like most other revolutions.
What
Um,
well I don't
but
necessarily agree with the claims because I do think the workforce will evolve with time also.
okay, so that's what I was asking you. So you believe that AI will just be a new evolution and the workforce will evolve with it and people will still be employed? Or do you
Yeah.
think that we'll be in need of a UBI?
I theoretically, and the what's it called, the utopian in me would like to believe that humans would be able to evolve to use AI to do way more things than we're capable of now, but we would still be doing things, you know, that are
Okay, so you
valuable.
wait, so do you think that
I think it'll
the
evolve.
industries will so you
I
think
think it.
industries will evolve into where there'll be more of a different work? Or do you think that AI will make it to where people need a UBI?
I don't. I'm torn on that question, but like
Uh,
what I want to believe is that we won't need a UBI.
G, talk to us.
Um, so it's like it was a couple of things, I think. So like one, the fear mongering marketing piece, I think is definitely all marketing to a degree where they're trying to. So like I said, I think the way that a lot of these AI companies were going to make their money was through the enterprise, doing business with other enterprises, because those are where the large deals were going to come in. And to market to those companies, there was a heavy push around this idea of like, oh, AI is going to replace this many jobs, it's not going to need this many, because that appeals to the enterprises who they're interested in selling to. So I think they were marketing or selling to their audience, but they did it so well that the other side to that coin is that now the people who work for these enterprises have now pegged AI as a boogeyman, a bad guy. Like now, because that story was so prevalent, and then all these layoffs started happening, but what people don't also like acknowledge with the timing of that was that there was just an overhiring period in COVID. Inevitably, there were going to be layoffs because there was too much money because of COVID. There was the great resignation period. Everybody was getting overpaid. There was hyper hiring in many of these big companies, and they were just spending money crazy because it was free. So inevitably, folks were going to get laid off, but in that same time period, you got this AI narrative growing, and now all of a sudden, as the layoffs are happening, AI is the clear boogeyman. Now, because AI has been labeled a boogeyman, it's not good for business. And so they're trying to pivot the message to say, no, it's not going to take the jobs. It's going to make work a luxury. It's just trying to reframe the same story. Ultimately, is that like you won't need humans to do the same amount of work. So I feel like when we see what's going on today, it's all about their bottom line. Whatever they need to do to fine tune the messaging to help push the mission is what they're going to continue to do. Ultimately, as it relates to UBI, I'll say that when it comes to UBI, I think we will get to a point to where there has to be some form of it here in the States for sure.
Okay, so jobs ain't gonna evolve. We're gonna need that UBI.
But I would say beyond just the job component, it's on the fact that these data sets are nothing without the data that we involuntarily sort of gave them. And I think that there will be a somewhat of a reckoning between the human population and them wanting to get paid for the data that made these models work so successfully.
I've been saying that.
And this is where I say the government bailout is inevitable, because they're already talking about OpenAI giving the 5% stake to the government. But
now we going full on socialism.
It's crazy, and so
there will be some
reckoning. There will be some reckoning that these governments are gonna. But the thing is like,
or the billionaires are going to
cut the deal. They're going to cut the deal with the government to try to cut out the people. But I do think
But G,
as we start to see with the people
Oh wait,
and
I had
these democratic socialists,
let me have.
these democratic socialists that are getting elected, that just got elected in Michigan again, we starting to see like a turn against the establishment. So
shout out to the game.
But G,
I think it's possible.
But G, with that same turn on the establishment, like I think like the UBI be necessary, but that's only if the rich keep getting richer. I think if
Why
like
wouldn't they?
but I think if the
They're in
bubble,
bed with the government.
but I think if the crash comes and things level out, I think
That's
you
gonna-
get back to where it comes to where a lot more
Johnny,
diplomatic.
if the crash comes, we're gonna definitely need a UBI, because what I don't think you're under. I don't think what you're valuing is how the average, not the rich, because average niggas got retirement funds and 401ks and Roths, etc. You might not realize how much of all of that money is somehow tied to the belief in AI long term. You might be surprised. And I'm talking about the average worker making 60 to 100,000 in your regular city who spent 25, 30 years contributing to that 401k, who's probably looking to retire in, what was this, 2026, who's probably looking to retire here in the next 2 to 3 years. Now, because of how these markets are looking, what they thought they were going to have in retirement may have just been cut 40%, 50%, and it can look a lot scarier. So it can get ugly. It can get ugly.
This a fucked up joke, but at least like you got to work extra 10 years. It'd be a little easier with AI.
I mean, the same thing happened. The same thing happened to folks who was retiring in the 08, 09 years.
Or the .com bubble too.
And the .com, yeah.
But like, yeah, you got working, but at least you just hit the, you just checking the AI now.
Yeah. I didn't necessarily have, but I kind of forgot the question that I wanted to ask y'all. Damn, where was we at? What was you just saying before Jenny hopped in?
We was talking about
UBI,
yeah. And I was saying I think it's gonna get to a point where
all right, I know
because
exactly
of the data they take from the humans, they're gonna have to pay us for that.
What I was gonna ask y'all was, do you think that capitalism can survive the AI?
No question.
I think that all of the people that are involved in AI, whether it's the Sam Altmans, the Elons, the whoever, they have all pivoted to this socialist model because they understand what it eventually looks like for the have-nots, the regular people, to where it is likely to become almost unobtainable, and to keep them from eating the rich or busting down the door of the bourgeoisie. I think that it seems like they have all pivoted to a very intentional socialist model.
But I think they're doing that like very intentionally because I think they understand that like AI is something that like can't even the playing field to where it makes it hard. Like for
it can even the playing field.
I think kill capitalism.
I think with the productivity and what I think it can even the playing field to where like socialism is more of a viable thing with AI versus without it. I think like AI can make for a playing field to where now there are some hurdles because
all right, so when you say even the playing field, what do you like? I don't even know if I understand. I think you're saying even the playing field capitalistic wise. You're saying socialist.
Well, I think like capitalistic wise,
mean?
it evens the playing field for the have-nots, the small businesses, stuff like that. I think it makes it like a more even or fair playing field. To like I think just productivity. If you can have like if you can be able to create your own website and do just with what it is now, it gives you it allows you to do way more things at a lower cost. To where I think that's good for small businesses. To help small businesses
but Johnny,
survive.
but what about the company that's bigger than you that can afford way much more compute that want to do the same thing that you do? So like, how do you compete with that if they can just simply just brute force you because they can just buy way much more compute and then just do the exact
They
same
can Walmart you pretty much,
and just do the exact same thing you do. Like
and then
I
offer
think
it at a cheaper price.
I think people need to come to the grips with the reality. Like a thing people
Capitalism
typically
dead.
not even that. Like people describe you. It's a common thing now. People describe the economy as a K-shaped economy, right? But really, the period between 1940 to 2000 and maybe what you want to
what
say
does that mean?
2000 to 2000. So a K-shaped economy mean for some people it's going up a lot, and for some people it's going down a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean for that is that is always kind of like been the baseline of how the economy work in the United States of America. Like I think we just kind of like coming to grips with it now.
It's just been hyperinflated.
Exactly. It's just but that's always been the orientation of how the economy works.
Like these last 5 years have been crazy in terms of cost of, like we've talked about it in the chat. Like
And
they're
I
crazy.
give you a prime example. I mean, most of us we live in big cities, coastal, uh, we tech adjacent or whatever. Our economy has been very different over the past 20 years versus somebody who lived in the middle of America, who was economy was built off industrialization, manufacturing, and so forth, so on. And that's how you can have people who live in the same country and it's be like, yeah, it's been great for me. I'm a tech worker, whatever the case may be. But in the same vein as somebody who live in the middle of America and be like, this the worst the country ever been. So we've been in a K-shaped economy for like a minute. 70% of the GDP is responsible as like 30 cities. So all of the growth come from like 30 cities in the United States of America. So it's just like that's just kind of how it is. Um, it's I know G want the explain the open source models. Well, why somebody would prefer an open source model is because there is limitations to using one Anthropic or OpenAI or whoever you're using because they control the model. So right now, if I don't know, I can't remember.
They be censoring outputs. They don't even give you real outputs now. They filtering outputs based off of what your prompt is.
So I don't know. I follow David Sachs on Twitter or whatever. But when the Chinese model came out, the reason why people like the Chinese model is not because it can outcompute the American models. The reason people like the Chinese models is because it do what you tell it to do. you know, you, So even if Anthropic and OpenAI, from a technical standpoint, have the ability to do something, that don't mean they're gonna allow you to do it. And so that's why somebody might prefer to just say, okay, I'm gonna do my own in-house compute, how the model do what I want it to do, and then I don't have to worry about that overhead cost of paying Anthropic in them for their services, and then I'm paying them for their services, and it don't even do what I want it to do all the time. So that's kind of like why somebody would prefer that way. In OpenAI was supposed to be open source,
They're supposed to be nonprofit.
It was supposed to be an open source company,
nonprofit company. How quickly the times change.
And the Chinese is basically essentially saying here you go, and it's not so much that they have as much compute, but they've been able to build models that can get you similar results on less compute, which means that's less money I have to spend as a company if I'm going to use an open source model, because their models can do what I needed to do, and I can buy way less compute than what I would buy if I'm using Anthropic or whatever the case may be, or OpenAI or whatever Gemini. You know all of the ones, and when we talking about the like ideology, they're not. It's a post-capitalist ideology, right? that Elon Musk and these kind of guys because they still want to own the compute. They not offering to give up the ownership of the compute to the state. They still want to own the compute, but they have a idealistic framework that they believe the AI will be so productive that essentially it would drive the price of everything to zero, or
And
close to
that's
zero.
where I stay. I mean, like, yeah, that's just more like that's where it's just like you talking too idealistic versus reality.
But you got to understand, for them guys to do what they do and to hit it this how they hit it, they gotta believe that. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
That's what they gotta, because they want to, whether it's for personal admiration or because they care about humanity. Them dudes want to be remembered. Like, them dudes got ego. Them dudes, like, the motherfucker who make electricity unlimited, the niggas going in the Human Being Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you do need those people to have those lofty goals, because even if you don't reach them, you reach something that's like really good.
So here I don't disagree, but here's why AI won't get rid of capitalism, because once AI is established, it's just like it's going to be similar to the internet. People build internet businesses. There's going to be AI entrepreneurs. It's going to create a new marketplace of entrepreneurship, and then people are going to capitalize off of AI. And that's going to be the new form of capitalism.
You don't think the internet has given the average person a better shot at it, though?
Of course, a better shot.
Yeah, sure. But what I'm saying is,
so AI will continue to like create that like better opportunity for the little. I think the internet is very.
That's what I'm
important for
saying,
small
though, Johnny.
business.
But that's what I'm saying. This is why you won't get rid of capitalism, because you're gonna have entrepreneurs owning certain aspects of their infrastructure via AI, whether they rent it out, like outsource it, whatever the case. Because even now, when you look at businesses, they outsource a lot of what they do and call themselves a business or enterprise. You're gonna build your business on the AI layers.
Okay, but cool. So it may not get rid of like the concept of capitalism, but do you not think it would make it would help close the wealth gap that we're like?
No, I don't think it's gonna help close the wealth gap.
But that's the thing. The goal is not
Hell
to.
no, Johnny.
The goal is
close the wealth gap.
Go listen to I posted an article in the Discord by from I think it was the dude at Andreessen Horowitz. Their goal is not to close the wealth gap per se. Their goal is to basically to eliminate eliminate scarcity.
Quality of life. Yeah.
They want you to be able to they want you to be able to have a fucking everybody have a fucking Benz if they fucking want to, because they didn't literally made it so the productivity is so crazy that it's easy for them to produce those type of goods now. Like, that's a good goal. That's a good goal.
So it will raise the floor.
It'll raise the quality. It'll raise the quality if everything
what poor looked like, just similar to what poor looked like in the 60s, where you was talking to niggas who grew up like, if I talked to my old head uncles and shit, niggas didn't have running water and shit like that. Like, and look, I remember when we got central air, for example. Like, that was a big deal. We moved into a place that has central AC. And so you talk about that today, that's not really viewed as like a premium luxury the way it was back then. So the quality of life will improve because of AI. That's no question. But it's not gonna close the wealth
gap. And also, I think
I got another question then to pivot off of that. But shout out Ryan Clark. But then, like, if it raises the floor, and like there's these certain creature comforts that everybody get used to, then
it raised the ceiling too now.
But then does it pacify? Like, because right now I think like the wealth gap is where it agitates people because there's such a big difference. Do you think if they raise the floor, it raises enough to where people aren't complaining about it anymore?
I think so. I think so.
That's the idea behind it all, Johnny.
I think so.
Behind socialism.
The New Deal is a response to the Great Depression, which
Johnny turning socialist every day. I
like,
see it little by little by.
and so in order to save the
I don't like pacifism though.
the U.S. mode of production, the way we conducted ourselves as an economy, the New Deal is implemented as a satiating, medication. Whether it's the creation of
It's the stemming.
Exactly. Like we kind of basically.
It's a stemming.
But because that is the real complaint. People don't mind rich people being richer than them if they feel like their quality of life is increasing is increasing as well. It's just when people feel like the increase is at the expense of their quality of life. Like that's kind of like and
that's why you see what you see now, because shit like the shit that the everyday. Like if you really are one of the hold on. If you really are one of those check to check people, when you go to the grocery store today and you haven't gotten them raises over the last just 2 years, but your grocery bill is like 50% higher than what it was just 2 years ago for the same goods, bruh, people going crazy. And then you compound that with the war and the gas price, and you got a nigga who drive an hour and a half back and forth every day to work, like, bro,
motherfuckers get angry, bro.
Okay. Well, then
groceries.
Well, then let me ask, do we care about the greed, or are people really just mad because they don't have it? Because it's like if everybody gets it, then are the ills and the moral corruptness of the system are they no longer present because we got our little piece?
They care about the greed if it's at the expense of their quality of life.
It's like when the gangsters in your hood passing out turkeys. Nobody gives a fuck if he sold drugs. You got your turkey.
But see, that means we don't really care about it then, because then once everybody gets a little piece of the pie, these rich people will be able to do whatever they want.
They won't be able to do whatever they want, because a part of increasing your quality of life is them giving up a part of what is dispossessing them of some of what they own.
What's my nigga?
You just said they would get richer too. Like if they get richer,
yeah, but they gonna get richer no matter what. But the percentage of that distribution of that new generated. So like right now, for every dollar that we create in the United States of America, if 80% of it go to the top 1%, and then the other 20% of that dollar is going to the bottom 99%, you have to change that distribution of that dollar. So it have to be something like 50% of every dollar is going to the bottom 80%.
But Steve, that means the top 1% we're gonna be taking a big L to their quality of life.
But you gotta look at it. Look at it like this. Y'all know Bumpy Johnson, right? Harlem gangster and everything, right? This guy is a notorious gangster, but beloved by the people, because regardless of what he did, he quote unquote put back into the neighborhood. If you help niggas out, you see it in Italian neighborhoods, black neighborhood, anywhere you go, niggas will turn a blind eye. Niggas will turn a blind eye to any wrongdoing you got if you put back into the neighborhood. They're gonna say, well, you gotta pray for that person. Everybody's not the same. Look at all the good that they did. That's what people are gonna point to if you're helping them out. They don't care about how corrupt.
But these corporations aren't doing. They're not supporting stuff that helps. You know what I'm saying? Like these big corporations that we're talking about, the ones that control the AI, they don't have a history of what you're talking about.
But that's why they in the conundrum. But that's why they in the conundrum that they in now. So so it's either you recognize the issue, dispossess yourself of the wealth, and we're not even talking about like you're not gonna make
drugs on the block. At least take care of the grandma.
Yeah, we're not talking about you gonna. I mean, we just talking about you getting 50% of every dollar instead of 80% of every dollar. You know what I'm saying? Like they still gonna be fucking.
Hey, but here's another thing. Like, how greedy are they? Do you think they're willing to fight over that 30%?
History shows that they always come to their senses. You know,
it takes not at first. Sometimes they You know what I'm saying? Eventually, like
History,
sometimes
history, and if they don't come to
a lot of
if
kings they got their head cut off
if they
too.
don't come to their senses, the people dispossess them of their wealth. Like that's just the history, like of America.
Involuntarily, we take it. It's either you give it or we
Either
take it.
I mean, during the 40s, we did it through legislation. We voted in FDR 4 times. You know, so I'm not saying they gonna do French Revolution, but but that requires people being like, understanding kind of what. But I mean, it's becoming a problem because like for them, because right wingers and left wingers is saying the exact same thing about the economy now. Like when you like listening to these like Tucker Carlson types,
Everybody trying to bite into pause. Everybody trying to make that their main platform
like
going into
Tucker
the election
Carlson
season.
don't sound
Horseshoe
too much.
theory comes through again.
He just sounded a little different. He just sounded a little different. He got a different flow than Mum Dunny. But them niggas got them niggas in the same like range at this point, which is crazy.
Yeah, anti-APAC, like has a handful of things.
Chuck Carson was one of the first people mainstream a while ago. I remember him and Ben Shapiro had a show, and Ben Shapiro was talking about how we should just go to all these AI trucks because we could be more productive. And Tucker was like, why would we destroy the most popular job for a college educated, non college educated dude man in America? Like, what does that do to that man if we just get rid of all their jobs? Like Tucker Carlson making that argument before we even get to this today point. He was making that argument a couple years ago.
To take away the truck driver job, where truck drivers do, but I get it do come down to safety.
Yeah. So do y'all think that
like, are they better than the regular truck drivers?
Do y'all think that eventually the right to have the ability to work will become something that people will be looking to pass legislation for?
When you say work, you mean like employed by like
so for example, the Tucker Carlson point that Steve was just making. He's arguing that you would want to have why would you take away those jobs? Even if the thing is maybe you could make it a little bit more efficient, better,
safer.
Why take away that? Safer, whatever words. Why take away that when it ends up being an industry that gives value to 200 and not 200. I forget the number that Steve just said, but a good percentage of non-college educated people. And I think that ends up being a piece of the pie that everybody has to come to grips with, which ends up being, as humans, are we looking for only efficiency or is there actual value in work?
A lot of people value their job. There is some type of mental thing that people get from
things
that they get from work. I can't explain it, but a lot of people get something from going to work, and whether that's dispossessing them from the work that they like. Because I remember this conversation when
hey, can I play devil's advocate for a second, Steve? Because there are people, like, when it comes down to, like, let's say truck drivers, to where, like, there's been, like, and I don't know if it's because of, like, the shortage, but there's been a rise in, like, accidents. Like, a nigga like, what's his name? Tracy Morgan. That was a truck driver that was, but that's human error.
Hold on.
Human error.
Johnny, I want to concede this point. I want to concede. I want to concede
from years ago. Like,
I want to concede this point. Just about anything you can think of when applied correctly, AI is better than humans at it. So let's take we got a real case study. We can look at
radiologists.
So if you go look up right now,
there's a case. There is a argument for all of it.
I understand.
Nobody's saying that there's no argument.
I'm not saying there's no argument. I'm giving you the point. But that is on the people who in control of this technology to sell it to the masses and to get buy-in and to then like explain what the benefit is. I think a lot of times the issue is that they just say, well, this is better, and then there's no type of like propaganda or work or program to get the masses to understand why it's better. And then that's why you get so much you know, instinctive recoil to stuff. Because they just think they can do it because they got the ability to do it without having to explain it to nobody. So I'm not discounting that it's better. Yeah, it's better. I'm not gonna sit up here and say that robot driving cars is not better than human beings. They are. They simply are. Tesla has all the data. You can go look up how often a regular car crash, and then you can go look up how often a self-driving or supervised car crash on Tesla, and it's like probably 100 to 1 when it comes to miles.
That's why I ain't scared of the Waymos.
But that again. That's on you having to explain that and get buy-in. I think a lot of people trying to skip over the step of getting the buy-in from the like public. Like that's kind like
but that does take
it took like
humility.
10 years. It took like 10, 15. No, honestly, it took like maybe 10, 15 years before this idea of getting food delivered was normalized. It took that long.
It took a pandemic.
Yeah, and it took an extreme event. It took an extreme event as
niggas
well.
Niggas wouldn't have got it unless COVID happened.
Niggas refused to order Postmates for some McDonald's or Chipotle before the pandemic.
Until niggas couldn't go nowhere, then niggas was like, well, it ain't that bad.
But then what happened? Now that niggas can still go places, those companies have not gone ananywhere. They are part of the fabric now.
Niggas are still doing that some shit. No pandemic.
And also you gotta think like the gig economy, those type of jobs, whether it's Uber, Postmate, they play
what the K-shaped economy is speaking to when they talk about the K-shape is a lot because of the gig economy.
The gig economy, if that stuff don't exist, because the bottom is falling out, but if that stuff don't exist where you can be like, well, shit, at least I can go be like a Door Dasher. Like if that was just gone and it wasn't like no, like it was just complete drop off. Man, these motherfuckers would have been crashed out.
That's kind of as soon as these joints can automate, everything's gonna be automated. The mail, the deliveries, the robots in the warehouse, like all of that is
got
on
them
the
niggas
way.
mopping. I seen cute niggas standing around watching the shit mop.
They got this.
Johnny, y'all gonna have to have a robot at the intersection.
I don't know. I don't know if y'all ever been to like
robot.
I'm anti AI. No,
if you ever been to,
I just made some AI graphics.
If you ever been to San Francisco,
you keep it real on the fly.
If you ever been to San Francisco be like, man, it's it's an experimental city, right? But like they
experimental is
my bad phrase.
Yeah, it's experimental for sure.
Like some of this shit, like it's there already. Like as far as like the self-delivery, they got like a truck where like
they lean into it. They're early adopters.
Like basically they got a truck and it got little lockers on that bitch. Hey, that joint pull up in front of your spot. You go down there, it give you a little code on your phone. You boop boop boop. You locker 5, get your food, and it's all just autonomous.
Yep.
I think we're already in the AI world.
Yep. What's that, old man?
I said we're already in the AI world. We don't realize it, and that's why everything's driven towards entertainment because that's all we have left. So the only thing that could evolve from more AI is more sports leagues, more entertainment, whatever you're into. So it just become more niche, more different type, like monetizing, like gambling. You already see it. You see the card games that are become popular and just gambling shows and things like that. So I just think that's all we have is entertainment. If we lose our jobs and our ability to we have to do something or have something entertain us to keep us going. So I just see we're already in it.
It's the circus, they gave niggas the circus and shit.
I mean, this what I hope, because I mean, for all of the lofty goals that they have, I hope they get at least to like 60% of the way there. Like, because if you don't, well, then it's just.
By what time period is? I think the question is,
man, I don't know how much longer they got. To be honest,
the timeline? Because they're gonna get there. They're gonna
maybe they got a 15-year more window. 15-year more window before like before people really demand to see something that's going to increase their quality of life. Like,
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
But
I
here's another
think
thing.
less
But
than that.
like what
You
other
think I can see that, Q, less than that, to be honest. But at some point you got to come out with some type of something, whether it's driving down the cost of energy, which energy is really everything. Like, energy run the world. Making food even cheaper or whatever the case may be. You have to come out with something that's gonna cause a instant, simple to understand increase in the quality of life for the masses, in order for them to even try to get to the chance to reach these like crazy goals that they got.
but what we're talking about is like, because what the internet needed and what happened, like they need a Facebook. Because that's what happened to the internet, and that's what made the internet what we looking at today.
I think the internet.
It was Facebook, but Facebook changed the way we interact with the internet forever.
I
No,
think
no, Johnny. It's Black Planet. Everything starts with black. Okay.
Wait, what are you trying to give Facebook credit for?
The way we interact with the internet and like the updates and social media changed how people interact with the media, and that was like the social media that revolutionized even profitability, what they did with ads, and like Meta's a huge company now because of how revolutionary they were with the beginning stages of the internet. And I'm saying AI, it would take a company like that to do the same thing with AI.
I would just say I would put a little asterisk because Meta today, like Facebook was one entity. Meta today is Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. You know what I'm saying? It's multiple, and what really made Meta special is their acquisitions. As a part of their strategy.
I'm saying, but like if you go back to it, Facebook was the engine behind all of that.
No, it was MySpace.
It really, Instagram was their most profitable thing. Like if we're being as Meta as a
they
company,
they were able to use
Instagram
Facebook
as their top product.
They were able to use Facebook to buy Instagram and to buy because of the popularity of Facebook. It changed the game. Everybody, because especially when you had to have the email to do it exclusivity, and like the way they changed the game of the internet.
They messed up letting everybody.
Social media game, not the internet game. Let's say just social media. Social media.
But social media is basically like that's what pushed the revolution of the internet.
I think the difference between web 1.0 and I think most people would consider this AI to be web 3.0. But the difference between web 1.0 and web 3.0 is because in web 1.0 the order of operation was done different. The government did all the investment on the front end, and then the government released all of the patents, open sourced it, and then everybody was able to build off top of what the government created. The difference here is everything is closed source now, and that's kind of the issue because the government have an ability to take an unlimited amount of risk because they essentially print the money. The money is printed out of thin air, and when you doing it from a private enterprise standpoint, yeah, you want to spend money, but they can't afford to cash out just like willy-nilly. Like they don't have to keep going to investors and so forth and so on. And that's why you see like now the government part coming in where they want 5% of Anthropic, 5% of OpenAI, because that's the only entity that can assume that level of risk, and if them motherfuckers go belly up, can actually bail them out.
Either way, the evolution of AI, UVI is not the solution. People have to have a purpose.
I also think when they say
you can live a quote unquote great life, but people get bored. They need.
I also think when they say UBI, they not. When you even listen to them talk about it, they not talking about specifically a check. They talking about such a deflationary period or a deflationary price of goods that the goods is essentially free. That's what they talking about. Because products only cost money because there's supply and demand, and you can only
in the first place. Everything is supposed to be free and was free. Think about it.
I mean, I don't know how you make a car free.
Well,
unless
stuff
you
wasn't
can print.
always free because even before money, you still had to like trade like your value with other things to create it. Like there was always a
Only because
value
you
system.
decided to trade, like only because you wanted what the other person had. Like
But I think a
everything
lot
was
of that was
free.
necessary as time went on. You needed things the other person had, and so you had to trade some
I
of your
believe you
excess
wanted more than
and
I,
your
I
value.
believe humans wanted more than they needed.
I mean,
I
that's
thought,
what it mean to be. That's kind of what make us human. That's what make us kind of distinct from being animals. Like we want beyond just what we need to survive. Like animals just need to survive, so they don't work beyond that survival. Humans actually have an ability to like aspire to beyond a point of just surviving. Like that is in essence part of being human. I don't know how you wire that out of people not to want more. Like that, we wouldn't be human if that was the case.
motherfuckers looked at the moon and went there.
Yeah, exactly. Like animals don't have that desire. They don't have that drive. They don't have that.
Motherfuckers
We
went
should
to
go
the
to the
moon
moon. You know what I'm saying?
and we actually went there. And you know, I heard it's some crazy shit. It's somebody that they sent a rocket up there with like organisms that are living, and they say they might be living on the moon to this day, little tetranomes or little tiny microbes that could be living on the moon that we sent up there, which is kind of crazy, but that's some human shit.
hmm But
Yeah, I ain't got nothing to say to that, Jack.
I'm trying to bait some
Billy's trying to take it to outer space now.
I was trying to bait some niggas into some arguments, but
Actually, I think that's the real benefit of AI is going beyond Earth. I think that's the real goal of it.
yeah, the internet web 1.0 was good. The and even then, and why a lot of people didn't freak out about the internet is because the internet did increase the quality of life of people who necessarily didn't get a job because of the creation of the internet, if that makes sense, right? So whether that was the access to goods they can get or whatever the case may be, there was a quality of life increase because of the creation of the internet. And now AI just got to show what that quality of life increase is for like the masses today. And then people will be on board, but if you don't you got to show it, or you got to build it, or you can't keep promising it and then not delivering it. You know what I'm saying? You can't say this thing gonna save humanity and then we 10 years deep and what you got to show for it.
Right, and to go to Steve's point, like you got to show something, and we can't be 10 years deep, and 2K still look like this. What is AI doing,
No,
bro?
that's the look. That's the look they're going for.
Bro,
Trust
what
me.
the fuck is AI doing? Like this
Hey,
shit still look like 2K18.
Hey, that nigga been to the intersection.
hey, man.
That's the look they're going for.
They
You got
coulda-
different type of
I
animation
know
look
that
now.
nigga.
You got different type of
Man,
creative
Yeah,
2K,
late night
man.
runs.
It's
That's
like, bro,
late
I
night
don't know
runs.
how 2K
401k
managed to
league.
become a worse game every year, bro.
401k league.
Right. But yeah, like to me, at this point, if I'm to believe in AI, why the fuck this shit don't look better yet? Did y'all see what the new Edwards and LaMelo Ball look like?
Well, they bullied them niggas into changing the Edwards already. They posted that shit too. I think the 2K official page
They
posted
look
that.
so bad. Like it's like how are we regressing with the graphics? Like if y'all got AI building, running all this code for niggas that used to have to do it manually,
It look like my
why the
dog
fuck
J-Bo.
Tyrese Evans look like he got the spray tan on? He got enhancements on his hairline right here.
They probably still
That's
using that
wild.
3D scan.
But listen, I'm just saying,
It
we
don't
at
look like
2K27. 10 years
Tyrese.
ago, it looked just like this. And that's my problem.
Well, why don't they just I mean they got AI videos. Why don't they just put like realistic shit on this shit now?
It's,
Like
right.
you could use AI animations that look real. Like that would be some fire shit if they gonna use, like make GTA look like real life. They could do that with fucking
GTA can't look too real. That kind of defeat the purpose of it being GTA. It's supposed to kind of look fake.
But if it could look like real life and you could control shit like with the animation and the that shit would be amazing.
Who is this say AI is more of Big Brother, more of the beginning of Big Man? We already got Big Brother. All these cameras, flock camera,
cameras, bro.
Doorbell camera. Like low key. What's the doorbell camera called?
Ring.
That shit was a psyop, bro.
Ring.
But yeah, they said they be
getting people to put shit,
selling the footage to niggas. Like
getting people to put that shit on their house was priming niggas for this flock shit, bro. It primed niggas for that shit.
Man, I'm not gonna lie to you.
They just got a nigga in Michigan, like they tracked him on a flock shit to go to another state, buy some weed, and then when he came across the border, they hit the nigga, and they was like used the flock shit to
the neighborhood that I'm in was built in 2021, and all of the houses came default with like a whole package of Ring and other automatic shit, like this quote unquote smart technologies and shit. Like
they made it an automatic ring on it.
Yeah, they made that shit standard.
They spying on y'all.
Hey, I fuck with it though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I be checking that motherfucker, boy. I be like, who that in my foot, man?
I ain't against being spied on, but you do. But I think it is like you should know that they have the ability to look at the footage.
But just ask them, so why aren't you against being spied on?
No, I said I'm not against.
That's crazy.
You said I'm not against being spied on. That's what you just said.
Right, because I don't do nothing illegal.
So why are you cool with them spying on you?
Because there's nothing to look at.
Okay.
So if they caught you stroking one out on the Ring camera, you cool with that?
And first of all, why are you doing it on the Ring camera? Second
you
of all,
never know. You never know.
And second of all, if you're looking at that,
sometimes niggas had a Ring in the living room. They do have Ring cameras in the living room.
Why are you doing that on the Ring?
Niggas ain't got the Ring in the living room, bro.
No, they do. They got indoor rings.
I ain't never been
if you stroking one out on the Ring camera,
they got indoor Ring cameras for sure.
Oh man,
if the Ring camera catch you, you need to go to jail.
Can y'all hear me? Yo, let me tell y'all something about that Ring camera. One of my sisters had to call the alarm people because somebody got there looking at her on the damn camera. So she had to switch companies because she caught them up. Somehow she had to call them spying on her. That's weird. But it happens. It does happen like that. They can't do it.
Hey, it was a woman up in Mooresville that she just got arrested for using the flock cameras to spy on her husband's ex-wife.
What's the flock cameras? What's that?
People got public access to the flock?
No, she worked for the police department and she was going behind the door to look at the flock to spy on somebody.
Man, I'm gonna have to find a video, bro. It is like a
whole. Is that the lady that just got fired, Johnny?
She got arrested. I don't know if she got fired or not. She got arrested though.
The flock cameras is just these random cameras in all the neighborhoods, bro.
But I'm saying, but if a random person at the police station could just go use
they can triangulate them shits to like find you and shit.
But she was spying on her husband's side woman or ex.
And
people been doing that for generations, man. They running background checks when they're not supposed to.
But like a flock camera give way too much information for somebody that's not supposed to have it.
Yo, let me highlight you for a second, Q. You were saying why the 2K looks so bad because the chip has went up so much that you know what I'm saying, they can't even produce the technology to do it because of if they did it, you know what I'm saying, that mean they had to upgrade the system. You see the video game system.
I can't hear shit on this man.
In the Matrix.
I ain't gonna lie. Yeah.
That nigga sound like
your
bubble
service is
right
going
now.
crazy. That was actually kind of crazy.
That Rock Hill.
That nigga sound like bubble
I don't think it's a coincidence that Flock headquarters is in Atlanta, Georgia. All of that surveillance, all them surveillance companies just popping up.
Wait, Flock is the name of the company? I just thought that was a hood name for the cameras.
No, that's the actual name of the company. Flock.
Yeah, I thought that was just like the streets branded it. Flock. Like
No, that's what they.
all them surveillance companies headquartered in Atlanta,
It's
and they
like a
testing
flock of
all that
birds.
shit out in Atlanta, bro. Cause they got a drone company. It's basically the same thing as Flock, but it's just these drones that just fly around the fucking city.
Oh damn,
Yeah,
we
like,
really walking into Big Brother
So
time.
Atlanta is the
but like we
headquarters for
And Johnny
shouldn't.
don't
everything.
Like,
mind.
no,
Johnny, you
I
don't
don't.
mind, Big Brother?
I didn't say I don't mind, big bro. I don't want no drones flying around, but like,
And see, Flock is the type of shit that turn people against AI.
You wouldn't even know they look like little birds.
I think they gonna have birds. I think they gonna have fake birds out there.
They already do.
Nigga, they already got fake birds, bro.
They already do. They
What you
already
talking
got that.
about?
They
That's
been
old.
there.
That's old technology,
That's
nigga.
old,
The fake,
Johnny.
the
Old,
fake
Johnny.
bird
That's
is
real
old, nigga.
They got fake. They right now. What they
I'm saying
have
they gonna
fake
get
insects.
better. They gonna get better with the way they got
Insects.
drones
They
and
have.
shit
They
now.
getting the
Better
mosquitoes
birds.
ready.
No, they have fake
Oh, a
bees and
mosquito
shit
drone
like
to be
that.
crazy. I just killed two.
They
Like, I hate
do.
mosquitoes.
Just think
They
about this,
already
bro.
have that, Johnny.
Imagine,
They already got
like,
it, Johnny.
just think about this for a second. Google has satellites that you can go on Google Earth, type in longitude, latitude, and you can look at a spot in real time, right? So if Google got that just openly available on the internet for anybody to do, imagine what like the government or other motherfuckers got that we don't have access to. What the fuck? They probably got shit they can see through walls up in outer space or some crazy shit.
They
Yeah,
can see
it's
through walls
fantastic.
now. They
I'm
already
sure
had that.
they do.
That's old
I'm
technology right
sure
there.
they
That's
do.
old technology.
But my thing is like we're not gonna stop them from doing the surveillance. Like we can't stop flock cameras and shit. Like ring cameras and shit. Like this shit's just a part of our society at this point.
I do like the ring, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Pause.
Yeah.
The ring is the gateway. That's the gateway because it don't see it
got
seems
me.
it's like I need our neighborhood good to go. It's safe. We know it's good. If somebody steals something up out of here, it's gonna be on everybody ring camera. We gonna track them.
Oh
they
yeah,
gonna track them down.
that's what happened when somebody go
It's
missing.
better than
They
a
pull the footage from everybody ring camera.
what's the little shit? The peephole. Pause. It's better than a peephole for sure.
Oh yeah, nah,
It's
way
me.
better.
You knock on these
Way
radio door,
better.
but they be like, "Who it is? It's me."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nigga might shoot you in the eye or something on the peephole, man.
Man, I be on that ring answering all the doors. I'm like, who is this? Man, leave that shit and go, nigga. I'm not coming to the door.
Leave it in the garage.
What's this? Yeah, I don't know. But
And I caught them niggas stealing my package. Posted them on the ring community, nigga.
This nigga G, boy.
Did
Hey, he the ring police. He the ring police. Neighborhood watch.
This nigga a rat.
Hey, you stole my package, man.
This nigga a rat.
Hey,
Ring
man.
rat. Hey, look, I paid good money for that package, man. I put their whole face on the damn ring community, boy.
Hey, but this is the
Uploaded that ass. Pause.
But this is the thing. I mean, this is the Chinese model, though. Like, as much as people do all this fear mongering about the Chinese, I mean, we got the surveillance. And
I
then
mean,
what
New York already cambered out.
What you trying to do is what's the word they call it? It's because it's not a hard enforcement of power, but this soft enforcement of power, you hoping you can coerce people into like better behavioral patterns because they understand that like
it's like regressive.
It's being captured at all
That's the only
times.
reason. Putting fear into people so you won't do things because you know you're gonna get caught. So that's all it is. But it's kind of needed in certain areas. I ain't even gonna lie.
This is what I will say. I do think
it help people be more conscientious.
I do think we
they
need
use AI to do speeding tickets.
I do think
they won't need that. We don't need that.
But niggas should have the sense that somebody's watching them at all times. I think, but like behavior would be better if you knew that like if I steal, I could get caught right now.
I do think there needs to be. I don't know if it should be done by technology companies but there should be some type of social coercive pressure. Whether that's I don't know how we do that, like holding people accountable, but there should be some type of social coercive.
It's surveillance.
Listen.
He want to dox niggas.
No. That's not what I'm saying. There should be some type of social coercive pressure for us to practice
Credit
our
score.
citizenry at the highest ability that we have. That's all
So
I
you're talking about
believe.
like social credit scores,
Not social
like
credit
check.
scores. I don't think it should be.
That's what you just
I
explained.
don't think it should be
Character
implemented through like a
development point.
technological means. I don't
He
know how
want
we get
he
there.
want you he want you hung in public. That's what he want.
Character development point.
Yeah, he just want an old fashioned public
That's
hanging.
that's not what I
Tar and
said.
feather a nigga.
But I do
Yeah,
think like good order and discipline is important for us to have in a country that's functioning.
Chop a nigga hand off if he
And I
steal.
ain't say that. I ain't going
But
that
you
far.
look at when
bro, take this nigga to the
you gotta
town
do
square.
these what is it, smash
The
and grabs or
guillotine
snatch
off
and
with his
grabs.
head.
You can't touch them. You can't
I'm not
touch
going
them
that
right now.
extreme.
You know what I'm saying?
Off with his
Because
head.
so
But
they
I'm just
go in
saying,
there
like,
and just steal whatever the hell they want with the camera on them. The camera is on them and they stealing whatever hell they want to. They walk in stores because no one can touch them.
But we should
and
be
they
able to
steal
see
it
the
and go
footage
about
of
their
you
business. They don't
stealing.
give a
Like
damn
if you
about the camera
steal,
being on them.
but old man, if somebody
As long as
steal,
under
and
$1,000,
That's
old
up.
man,
to me.
my bad,
He do that all the time.
He
But
said
like,
y'all niggas just old, man. He's like,
my bad. I apologize. That's my bad.
Fucking is just an old man. Dang,
But like,
it's crazy.
but like,
You
if
good,
if you
good.
could steal
Go
something
ahead,
and
do your
like,
thing.
and your grandmama could watch it, your mama could watch it, everybody in your family could watch it on social media, that wouldn't deter you from stealing.
not a lot of niggas, man.
Real big brother shit,
Johnny,
Johnny.
they doing it right now.
That's
As
crazy.
long as it's under
Bruh,
They
$1,000,
mama
it's
can
a
see them niggas
misdemeanor.
Their
stealing
grandmama
on
gonna be
TV.
like, their grandmama gonna be like, yo, dumbass got caught,
They
nigga.
see,
Like, what are you talking
You
about?
gotta
Like,
you gotta put it in Tucky.
yeah, grandma gonna be like, boy, I taught you better than that.
But
all that
but that would
surveillance,
deter. I think that would deter some people.
all that surveillance don't matter because if you're gonna go this socialist routes and you're getting rid of prisons and cops anyway, then who cares?
I don't
if you
believe.
filming
I don't.
me?
I
I'm
don't
not
believe
going
in
to
I don't
that.
jail.
think.
I
Fuck it,
believe
I'm
in
going
a.
super
I
socialist.
believe in. I
You
believe in.
niggas crazy.
Hey, Steve,
I
socialists
believe.
don't believe
man.
in
They
jail.
crazy
I
for
believe,
real.
They
nigga.
crazy, old
The
man.
USSR had jails, nigga. And you went to the gulag if you stepped out of line.
Black
I
Dolphin.
don't.
I
I was
thought
watching some
so.
shit
Hey,
about
we
them. The
gotta send these
gulag was
niggas to the
fucked up.
Trunch Bowl, hot
Like
damn.
niggas is going to Siberia,
The
nigga. If they
gulag,
violate in my world,
-2 degrees.
nigga. There's gonna be some
No long
consequences and
john.
repercussions. What the fuck are
No
we talking
long
about?
john.
Send that motherfucker to the Trunch Bowl like it was
Nigga gonna be
children.
breaking
Put him
big
in the
rocks into
gulag.
little rocks and little rocks into little rocks.
Off with his head.
But nah,
Got you. All right,
I
go
believe
ahead.
in some very strict stuff. Like I
Oh
believe in borders.
God,
I
man.
believe in borders. We gotta have borders because if we don't, we'll reduce the power that the
Yeah, this
labor force have. Like those is socialist
That
principles.
ain't extreme. That ain't
These
extreme.
woke people that y'all be watching on the internet have
Hey, Steve.
bastardized. They
Hey,
have
Steve. What's
bastardized what Lenin and Marx have wrote.
Hey, Steve. What's another extreme take you get?
Them not extreme, bro. That's mild, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Because if I ran as a if I ran on a
that
tough
wasn't really extreme.
if a tough on crimes closed border socialist ran tomorrow, that nigga will win the presidency in a heartbeat.
We talking about you right now. So what's another tough like another extreme take you got?
I can't say the one. I can't say. I can't say
You
the.
just want to send niggas to the choke.
Hold on, bro. I can't say that. I can't say my other extreme take on the live.
Tell him
It's
you
a
think the Hornets
it's a
are
post
cursed.
game. It's a post game.
All right, with that said, we are about to go
after
to the after show.
Afties.
Again, this has been a fun episode of Unpacked, presented by the 2E Fair Show and the G-ish podcast. You see the guys. We got G-Axis Media, Johnny, J-Rock 989, A Black is Gold, the mayor of Charlotte. We have Steve and the Aboriginal old man fresh out of Cali. And
shout out to Unc.
Unc pulled up on us. And yeah, with that said, this has been a fun episode. See y'all next week.